Hello, welcome to the Redmen TV. Liverpool have been beaten by Southampton by 1-0. 1-0 even. Fucking hell. You know what? That was terrible. Absolutely dire to watch, wasn't it? I mean, we just looked so impotent. It's just like, it was just so laboured over and over and over again, and no one seemed to want to take a shot, and we never really got into a position to have a good shot. And, you know, it's mad, innit? You take out a £34 million player and you look like a different team. Yeah, that's pretty much what happens. That's why Sadio Mane was worth as much as he's worth, and he's been fantastic for us, but we can't make excuses for that. We've known that he's going to be going for so long, and that's kind of the disappointing thing about it, because we've had so many games recently, especially since Christmas, that I get the impression like it was just get through those games and then we'll see what we're going to do. Whereas what you want is you want a big enough squad, you don't want injuries, and you want to be able to train these players for how you're going to play when Sadio Mane isn't there. And today, it never felt like we were ready for that. It felt like we've been trying to get through each and every game, and now we were like, Sadio's gone, what are we going to do? Anyone want to play right wing? Adam Lallana puts his hands up. As great a player as he is, and he's a great footballer, and he's been fantastic for us, he ain't a right winger. He doesn't provide us what Sadio Mane's been providing us with. It's not just the pace that he's got, it's his ability to create space, not just for himself, but for others. You know, it's that dynamism to be able to get in and beyond the back line and, you know, cut into that space when the space is available, because the strikers moved out and we lost all of that. All of that being said, I thought Southampton were fucking fantastic at the back, to be honest with you. You know, they played with clear banks. Often it was like 6 defenders and 3 midfielders, and then they'd leave the one up front, and they were so disciplined in what they were doing, but we were never creative enough, and it never looked like we were going to open them up. And, you know, they just gave the ball to Klavan and Lovren and Lucas Leiva, and every time it went to one of our creative players, then they started the press. And for me, like, you know what, if I was a manager in this league, that's what I'd be doing as well. And unfortunately, this Liverpool side tonight wasn't good enough to break down a very defensive Southampton side. Let's be honest, I say defensive, they should have won that game probably 3-0, to be honest with you. Lloris Karius has completely kept us in that game, and, you know, that's the one positive for me, is that he's actually performed really well. But when you're in a cup semi-final, that's not good enough. I'm sorry. I know it's 2 legs, and I believe that we can turn it around. But we looked gassed. We looked completely just devoid of ideas, and the players didn't have the fitness to enact what Klopp's plan was, whatever that was either as well, to be honest with you. And it's now, I can play off a couple of games where you have a bit of a bad run and stuff, but we're in poor form. You know, and we've missed Jordan Henderson, who's been arguably one of our best players of the season. We've missed Phil Coutinho massively. We've missed Sadio Mane tonight. And if you take 3 great players out of any footballing side, they're going to look completely different. And I've said it before, this Liverpool side can be a great Liverpool side, and they are a great side. But when you take our 3 best players out, we're just better than average for me. And that's like, you could do that with any side in the league, to be perfectly honest with you. If you take Hazard and Costa and Kante out of Chelsea, they're an average football side. And that's what it's about. You know, our squad isn't big enough right now, and I believe that's the right decision as well. I don't think if we'd had loads of players, we'd have been able to keep them all happy. But right now, we're right on the edges of what this squad can achieve, and fighting on 3 fronts isn't what this squad was built to do. And, you know, I want us to get to League Cup final, but having a replay against Plymouth, that's not what you want in this month. You know, we've got huge games in the Premier League coming up, and we've obviously got the second leg at Anfield, which should be a tremendous occasion because of the result. And I actually think that this might suit us more from a fan's perspective, because the crowd are going to be up for this game, you know, the return leg. And I think hopefully by then we'll see what Liverpool can do without Sadio Mane, whether we tinker with the formation slightly, whether we tinker with the personnel. The one other positive, apart from Lloris Karius, is the fact that Phil Coutinho's back in. Look, his shooting boots, he never had them on tonight. He's clearly a little bit rusty, but the whole team stepped up a little bit. There was like this belief that we would score a goal when Phil Coutinho came on, and unfortunately it didn't happen. You know, as I say, all credit to Southampton. I thought they played us really well. I thought that, you know, they had plenty of opportunities to win that game. So all told, the positive, again, is that we're still in this tie and we can beat Southampton. We can beat any team at Anfield. We're a good cup team and we're good over two legs historically. So, you know, and I know it feels like everything's bad right now, but it won't be. You know, we've got a massive game against Manchester United and we're the team in this league that steps up more than any other side against the other teams in the top six. You know, we've proved that by how many points we've got against the top six. In that sort of mini table, we're top because we step up our game. And I wonder whether these Liverpool players had an eye on that. I hope they never. Actually, do you know what? I hope they did. Because if they never, that was a really poor performance for someone who for a team who should have been and were 100% concentrated. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, of course. Don't forget to give the video a like. Check out the Freeview week as well. We're putting all of our subscriber shows on YouTube. The Final Word show will be out on YouTube. Be 45 minutes to an hour. We'll be discussing it with John and Paul as well. Should be a good show because if nothing else, the best thing about the Final Word show is that it's a cathartic experience. We get to talk our issues through with each other, with other Liverpool fans, and we get to hopefully, at the end of it, see the positives out of it. So I'll have a night's sleep. I'll watch the highlights in the morning. We'll be positive in the morning because Liverpool can go to the League Cup final and we can still beat Manchester United on Sunday. That's what this football team can do. I hope you're with me. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a like, give us a subscribe on YouTube, and don't forget to check out the rest of the post-match content and the Final Word show tomorrow morning.